Welcome tonight's host from Nesson, Tom Karen.
Good evening, everybody. How we doing? You know, we first did this in 1995, opened up the Red Sox Hall of Fame. I don't think we've ever had a crowd of more than 1,000 people. Looks like about 4,000 of you showing up here tonight, so a tip of the cap. And I think it's pretty clear we're just going to have to induct David Ortiz every year so that we get this big crowd here at Fenway Park. We are so thrilled you could be with us tonight. Back at Fenway Park, back in person, back to celebrating nights like this, and finally, formally inducting the Red Sox Hall of Fame class of 2020. One good thing that happened in 2020, these men were announced as the newest Red Sox Hall of Famers. We will also acknowledge the 2020 and 2022 Fenway Honors recipients as we hold this event for the first time ever outdoors here at the greatest ballpark in America. Don't you agree? You are here with us tonight to celebrate. We will celebrate people and moments and causes and the support that you and the community continue to show both this team and the Red Sox Foundation who do such amazing work in the community. That's why we are here in part, not just to honor the great ball players, but to talk about the largest charitable arm of any professional sports franchise anywhere. This year, the Red Sox Foundation is celebrating its 20th season of making dreams come true to those in Boston, New England, and throughout Red Sox Nation. It was 20 years ago that John Henry, Tom Warner, Larry Lucchino came together and with their partners not only became stewards of this team and this tradition, but vowing that they would one day break the curse of the Bambino. Remember that? Remember we used to worry about things like curses around here? Not only did they win that one elusive championship, was it Larry who said anybody can stumble into one, which by the way is not true, it was 86 years stumbling into one, but they've won 4 championships over the last 20 years. Part of the golden age of Boston sports, a 20-year stretch unlike any other in any city in America. Our final inductee tonight has played a huge part in 3 of those 4 championships. That ownership group not only vowing to win titles, but vowing to be champions in the community. And as you're about to see on the main video board, a lot has been done off the field over these past 2 decades as well. The Red Sox Foundation works tirelessly in our community, and the Red Sox Foundation works because of you. Your support is what makes this all possible. At this time, I'd like to invite the Executive Vice President of Social Impact and the Executive Director of the Red Sox Foundation to discuss the 20th anniversary of this amazing cause. Please welcome Becca Sallwasser.
Thanks, TC. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Red Sox Foundation, our board chairman, Tom Werner, and our entire board of directors, thank you so much for joining us this evening. For 20 years, the Red Sox Foundation has been a leading nonprofit focused on leveraging the amazing talents and resources of the Boston Red Sox for the community. We do this all while harnessing the passion and spirit of the best fans in baseball, Red Sox Nation. And since 2002, we have remained committed to all those we serve: youth, families, veterans, and communities in need. In fact, we have invested over $104 million across New England to support the areas of health, education, and recreation since 2002. Today, as you heard, thank you. Today, as you heard, this foundation is one of the most successful team charities in the country. Just as the Boston Red Sox are a source of joy and entertainment, the foundation is a leading source of hope, influence, and positivity. And like the team, our secret sauce is also our people. The Red Sox Foundation is committed as making an impact in the community as the players are to winning a World Series. Our game plan is to give back, give often, and give big. We do that through our own direct service, award-winning programs like the Red Sox Scholars Program, a college success program that has over 335 amazing young people, some of whom are here tonight. We provide them life-changing mentorship, academic support, professional guidance, a $10,000 scholarship, all while making sure each scholar is career and life ready upon graduation. And our youth baseball and softball programs provide over 2,000 young people in the city of Boston with summer leagues, clinics, coaches trainings, professional development, uniforms and equipment. Of course, also, the life-changing benefits of physical activity and the participation in sports. In addition to our programs, we have 3 core best-in-class partners. I'm sure you know them, but Home Base, who is curing the invisible wounds of war. They have served over 30,000 veterans and their families since 2009. The Jimmy Fund at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute has been on our team for over 68 years. And across that time, we've raised over $156 million to sustain their research and treatment. And last but not least, the Dimmick Center, which provides health and human services to nearly 20,000 individuals in need each year in Roxbury. Tonight, as we celebrate our 20th anniversary, we are so grateful to do so alongside our partners, our program participants, our Hall of Famers, and our Fenway Honors recipients. We're also so grateful to all the generous donors and sponsors and partners that made this evening possible. And forgive me, I have to run through a quick list. I will be fast. Aramark, the Boston Red Sox, Bank of America, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, Boston Beer, CVS Health, Nesson, Boston Bruins Foundation, Massachusetts General Brigham, Suffolk Cares Charitable Foundation, the Bo Sox Club, Jack and Eileen Connors, Bob Travellini and Live Nation, WEEI, Foundation to be named later, the Boston Celtics Shamrock Foundation, Josh Kraft, the Pam Mass Challenge and the Jimmy Fund, and Takeda. A special shout out to Men's Warehouse for providing the Hall of Famers for with their blazers tonight, and to Jimmy Gooseman for the beautiful flowers. And I can't leave without giving another huge thanks to all of you. As you can tell, we're so much more than just the foundation and a baseball team. We're a family that comes together on and off the field to ensure our communities are best positioned to succeed. And you all out there, you Red Sox Nation, you've always been the heart of it all. You're always there every time we have a need. So thank you, thank you, thank you. TC, I'll kick it back to you.
Thank you, Becca. And we ask you all to join us, by the way. June 17th, we'll have a special Nesson broadcast celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Red Sox Foundation. Tim Wakefield will be in the booth all night long talking about the great work being done by the foundation. And the great thing about this event is we honor that charitable arm and that cause and that commitment that the Red Sox continue to have while honoring some of the greats to ever be part of the on-field success of the organization. Our first honoree tonight was the club's #2 starter when the team won its first World Series in 1903. Not bad being a #2 starter when the #1 guy on the staff was Cy Young. I think they named an award after him. At this time, please welcome to the stage the granddaughter of Bill Dinneen, Mary Ellen Dinneen.
William Henry Dinneen, Boston, 1902 to 1907. Bill Dinneen was the pitching star of the first World Series ever played in 1903, winning 3 games including the clincher at Boston's Huntington Avenue grounds as the Boston Americans defeated the Pirates 5-3. A right-handed pitcher, Dinneen pitched the first 2 shutouts in series history, a 3-hitter in Game 2 and a 4-hitter in the series finale. A native of Syracuse, New York, Dinneen won 20 games or more in his first 3 seasons with the Americans, averaging more than 300 innings per season and posted a 2.49 ERA. In 1904, he set an American League record for consecutive complete games with 37. Pitching on 1 day's rest, he beat 41-game winner Jack Jesper on the last day of the 04 season to clinch Boston's 2nd consecutive pennant. He also pitched a no-hitter on September 27, 1905, against the Chicago White Sox.
As we said before, one of the great things about this event, it doesn't just honor those who have played, it celebrates champions in the community, individuals and corporations who have stepped up to the plate, pun intended, to help out the cause. Our first Fenway Honors recipient tonight is a local company who stepped up when the pandemic forced the restaurant industry to shut down. Of course, that's not all that Sam Adams and Boston Beer has done in this area. Let's take a look.
When Jim started the company, it was bar to bar, restaurant to restaurant, knocking on doors, asking the bartenders, bar owners in Boston to serve our beers. So this is where we started. This is our heritage. This is our roots. These are the people that embraced us right from the beginning. And we're proud of the community that we're a part of. We want to give back because this community has given so much to us at Boston Beer, at Sam Adams. They've built this brand. I'd love to say that we had this great vision and this is what it was going to be, but no, it's every bar owner, every restaurant worker, every bartender took our beer and built it pint by pint, case by case, and it's our opportunity to always give back. In 2008, we started Brewing the American Dream, which really is our large philanthropic arm, and it is what Jim saw as an opportunity to support the underserved population of dreamers, entrepreneurs in food and beverage who had ideas, saw concepts, and wanted to make their dreams become a reality. Beyond just giving loans, we also created an educational arm to this, and it's all volunteers from Boston Beer and our partners. We have our pitch room where we go around the country and people come and they pitch their ideas. We also have a brewery entrepreneurship where there's one brewer who gets to come and spend the year learning everything about running a business in a brewery. And then kind of the last thing, we have a mentorship program. It's really exciting for all of us at Boston Beer to be a part of this.
Jim is so thankful for when he was walking around with a suitcase full of his beer that he had made in his kitchen and begging a bartender to put it on tap somewhere. He is so thankful for that, and I think that works through that whole entire company where they care so much about the people that they work with their beer.
Governor Charlie Baker announced bars, restaurants, and clubs across the Commonwealth can no longer allow guests inside as a way to combat the spread of COVID-19.
We started a program called the Restaurant Strong Fund to create an opportunity to give micro grants out to restaurant, food and beverage workers.
It started almost on the day after Charlie Baker announced that restaurants and bars were going to close here in Massachusetts. Sam Adams reached out and they wanted to take $100,000 and see if we could get listeners and foundation donors to match it, and then we could give grants to servers and bartenders and back in front of house people.
We know that those restaurant workers that have had our backs for over 30 years really needed our help. So we saw an opportunity to partner with Greg Hill and the Greg Hill Foundation to help and aid and assist all the restaurant co-workers who had helped us over decades of serving our beers.
Without them, there would be no Restaurant Strong Fund, and we would be looking at a lot of people who wouldn't have gotten the help that they needed.
So I gotta ask, does anything go together better than baseball and beer? I don't think so. So raise a Sam Summer and please welcome to the stage President and CEO of the Boston Red Sox, Sam Kennedy.
Thank you very much, TC, and thank you everyone for being here tonight as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Red Sox Foundation. You don't have to look too far to know that Boston Beer is a special partner to the Boston Red Sox. Take a look out there in right field. Our special partnership definitely extends to the Red Sox Foundation. If you've ever been to one of our games or to a Red Sox Foundation event, you've definitely had one or maybe too many, like what's happening over there at our table tonight, of Boston Beer's amazing brands. And beyond their incredibly generous product donations, they've always prioritized their people as the most important ingredient of their business. And when the pandemic hit, Sam Adams quickly teamed up, as you heard in the video, with the Greg Hill Foundation to create the Restaurant Strong Fund to support an industry like ours that was forced to pivot and innovate in order to survive. The fund quickly raised over $15 million to help alleviate the massive loss of employment and income felt by thousands of restaurant employees. So tonight, it is my great honor to present this award to Boston Beer Company for their leadership, their courageousness during such tumultuous times, and for always stepping up to the plate for those in need. I'd now like to bring up my friend, Jim Koch, co-founder and chairman of the Boston Beer Company, to receive the Fenway Honors Award.
I got to tell you, I got a pretty good job. I get to watch baseball for a living. Jim Koch's got one of the only jobs I would trade everything for tomorrow, all right? He gets to walk around with a beer and make one of the great beers in our country. Congratulations, Jim. And thank you, Sam Adams, for everything you've done. Our next honorees are Red Sox season ticket holders who create lasting memories for Jimmy Fund patients and their families during every Red Sox home game. The idea stemmed from a trip to St. Louis for the 2013 World Series and a bond created between one of our honorees and a courageous young fan battling cancer.
My family and I would like to thank you for your generosity in sharing Erica's suite with our family.
Had the best time of our life. We love everyone. I can't even write, so teared up.
It's wonderful to get out and have fun in such a positive atmosphere.
As one with cancer, I sometimes think about the end. And here I am tonight in heaven. That's a great one.
Erica was a beautiful child. She was smart and funny, bright, and loved artwork and loved the Red Sox, of course. She was diagnosed when she was 5, and originally her doctor thought that she would have a standard 2-year course of treatment, but after a month of that treatment they realized that that wasn't going to work for her she had a nasty subtype of leukemia.
Right off the bat, you just fell in love with her.
So all in all, I'd say about 10 years of chemotherapy, radiation, 2 bone marrow transplants, and 1 clinical trial that she tried.
In 2013, the World Series was happening.
He wanted me to go with him, but he didn't want the jet for him. He's like, we've got to do good with this. I was able to secure this. We've got to do something good.
So, well, what about bringing a Jimmy Fund patient out there?
Phil called and said, listen, I've got this opportunity. It's always a team decision at the clinic. You know, we all work really closely together and we all know the kids in such different ways. And so we want to make sure that when we knew we had to select one child and, you know, one family, that we were all on the same page.
Erica and I were walking out of physical therapy. We were in the parking lot. My phone went off, and it was Martha from the Jimmy Fund.
Martha's in Lisa Sherbert's group, and so people that know the Jimmy Fund know that, you know, they're the organizers, and Lisa is the leader of all of the fun stuff, as Kathy says, and so.
And she said, oh, Kathy, I wanted to talk to you about an organization. I think you've heard of them. They're called the Red Sox. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to invite us to Game 2. This is Thursday. She said, no, it's Game 3. And I said, Martha, it can't be Game 3. Game 3 is in St. Louis. And she said, no, we're flying you there on a private jet. And I was just overwhelmed by that. And of course, I started to cry, thinking about how wonderful this was. And Erica knew I was talking to Dana-Farber, so she immediately says, why are you crying? Because she was, are they giving you bad news? And I'm like, no, they're flying us to Game 3. Sorry, it's a little emotional.
Erica, wasn't feeling well at that point. And so everything that could be made easier was made easier, and it helped her out. Phil was decked out head to toe with his Red Sox gear. And so Erica, of course, wearing hers, they were bonded immediately with that.
I realized why Erica was the patient they chose. During those telethons, she was the person they loved to interview. She was a super fan. And she had been through, I think, her second relapse. And so that's why Lisa said, it's a perfect patient. She's a super fan. That's the one you should bring.
October 26th was the game, right?
The game, Game 3, right, and the trip. And it was December 7th, literally not very long after, when Erica, unfortunately, passed away.
We asked them, how would you like to honor Erica's memory? And the answer was, we'd like to have more kids have the same opportunity to get close to the Red Sox that Erica did. She was a super fan. She loved them. I went back to Will Drosty and I said to Will, how can we get more Jimmy Fund kids to the Red Sox?
I was able to find B6, where we are right now, that I could definitely secure for 81 games. He ultimately made the decision to name it Erica's Suite.
I think Erica's Suite is such a great way to give Erica, to honor Erica, because not only is her artwork on display in the suite, but also it's a way for other families and patients of Dana-Farber and Jimmy Fund to have hopefully the same escape, the same respite, and take a break from the rigors of cancer treatment.
In the process of planning this suite was, should we have a guest book? Is that going to be a positive or a negative thing for these families?
And that has turned into like a written history of pediatric and adult patients who go through Erica's Suite now and use it, and they share their stories in that guest book, and it's really touching.
This artwork and her story is going to be here, hopefully forever.
Truly remarkable. To present our next Fenway Honor, please welcome to the stage Red Sox President and CEO Emeritus, and currently the Jimmy Fund Chairman, Larry Lucchino.
Hello, everyone. You've already seen tonight what a special gift the grocers have made to the spirit and the Jimmy Fund. We are here to honor them as they should be honored. When I came to Boston in 2001 to help run the Red Sox, I already understood the importance of Dana-Farber to this community. Years earlier, I had the misfortune of a cancer diagnosis and the great good fortune of being treated at Dana-Farber. During my time in this great city, I've had the immense privilege of witnessing the longest relationship between a nonprofit and a sports team, and to see it continue each year to strengthen and to grow, each year more purposefully and with more impact than the year before. We would often host Jimmy Fund patients at Fenway Park to help make their battle with cancer a little more bearable, hoping the reverence of 9 innings of Red Sox baseball would lighten their burden. With Erica's suite, which is right up there, Phil and Liz Gross have perfectly captured the spirit of the team's partnership with the Jimmy Fund. And they have carried forward to hundreds of patients the strength that Erica derived from watching her beloved team. Phil and Liz, what you have delivered to these patients is beyond measure. We attempt now to honor the spirit of your generosity and to ask that you join me on stage to receive the 2020 Fenway Honors Award.
Phil, Liz, thank you so much. Larry, well said. And thank you for all you have done and continue to do to spread the magic that we feel here at the ballpark. Time now to recognize one of our Hall of Fame inductees. This person never played a game for the Red Sox, so there's hope for all of us. Probably not, because behind the scenes, this man brought so much talent, which led to so much joy and ultimately a championship for Red Sox Nation.
Daniel Francis Duquette, Boston 1994 to 2002. During his tenure as Red Sox Executive Vice President General Manager, Dan Duquette took the team to an American League Division title in 1995 and wildcard spots in both 1998 and 1999, the Sox advancing to the ALCS in '99. Duquette also helped lay the groundwork for the 2004 Red Sox team that ended an 86-year World Series title drought, drafting Nomar Garcia-Parra, trading for Pedro Martinez, Jason Varitek, and Derek Lowe, signing free agents Manny Ramirez and Johnny Damon, and resurrecting the career of Tim Wakefield after he was released. He also drafted future Red Sox star Kevin Youkilis. A native of Dalton, Mass., and a graduate of Amherst College, Duquette succeeded Lou Gorman as Sox GM on January 27, 1994. In his 8 seasons as GM, the Red Sox compiled a record of 656 wins and 574 losses, a .533 winning percentage.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Red Sox Hall of Famer Dan Duquette. Dan, congratulations.
Thank you, Tom. It's a great honor. Great club. It's the Red Sox.
And you grew up here. You're one of us. You were born into this, as we say, right? What was it like as a young kid, Western Mass? You told me the story the other day about going to Wacona Park. Baseball's been part of your life and your family's life, really your entire life. So what was that like as a young man growing up, a young boy, around this game and around this fandom of this team?
Well, my family loved the Red Sox. I could tell when I went down to my grandmother's. She would stay up late and watch the games on the coast, right? And we'd have our root beer floats. Of course, my dad was a big fan, but we got to know the Red Sox because they were in Pittsfield, the AA team, 1965, and we followed the great George Scott. He won the Triple Crown that year, and the following year, of course, we got to follow him down to Fenway Park, and he played for the great Eddie Popowski. He was the manager there, and with them in Pittsfield in the community, we got to know personally by going to see them and follow them. And, you know, that was the start of my love for the Red Sox.
You played in college. You wanted a career in the sport. When did you realize that getting on the baseball operations side might be something you'd pursue?
Well, I went to a tryout camp with Lenny Murillo, and I ran about 7.5 in the 60, and then I threw. And I said, Lenny, how'd I do? And he said, well, you might consider another career. There might be some other things that you're good at. So he gave me some career counseling. But I always aspired to be part of the Red Sox organization. There were 4 generations of my family that wanted to see the Red Sox win, and I was determined to help them accomplish that goal.
You were one of the youngest general managers in Montreal. Traded for that man over there, Pedro Martinez, twice.
Pedro.
So what we're figuring out here, if you want to be a successful general manager, just trade for Pedro Martinez and you'll be okay.
Well, I've traveled around the world looking for players, looking for pitchers. I never found a guy that had the charisma, the heart of a lion, the pitches, and the desire to be great than Pedro Martinez. So, I'm going to tell a quick story.
That's what we're here for.
Pedro's the 1999 All-Star game, right? And Sammy Sosa makes fun of Pedro, saying he doesn't think he's going to do that well in the American League. Okay, so Pedro remembers it, and he comes out here and he strikes out 5 of 6 to start the All-Star game, and he embarrasses Sammy Sosa in front of the world stage. And we loved every minute of it. So after the game, Pedro gets the MVP. Okay, and John... Hey, okay, before we get to that, if you want to be a doctor, you can go to a med school here. If you want to be a lawyer, you can go to a law school here. You want to be a pharmacist, you can go to a pharmacist school. If you want to learn baseball, you go to the Dominican Republic. And we have been blessed with 3 baseball experts here in Boston. Two of them are being honored tonight, Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz, and of course Pedro. And the people in Dominican have passion for baseball like they do in New England, okay? We share a love for the game. We're brothers, hermanos. Buen trabajo, mi amigos. So anyway, Pedro wins the MVP, and John Harrington calls me, and he says, I'd like you to bring Pedro up to the box. Ted Williams wants to meet him. And of course, Ted was the MVP of the 1946 All-Star Game here at Fenway Park. He goes 4 for 4. And I'm down in the clubhouse. I wanted to say hello to Cal Ripken because Cal was late getting to the ballpark because his dad just passed. And I was thanking Cal for coming to the game. He goes, "Are you kidding?" He goes, "Of course I'm going to be at the game. My father demanded it." So I bring Pedro up to the Yawkey box, and Pedro walks in, and as soon as he walks in, Ted starts on him. He goes, "Pedro, you're not a very big guy." He goes, "I saw you throw some pitches to get out some right-handers, but I didn't see very many good pitches. You got any pitches to get out a good left-handed hitter?" And Pedro goes, "Come on, old man, grab a bat. We'll go down on the field, and I'll show you my stuff."
You know, you talk about, we just saw the flag, the Dominican flair, the passion for the game that whenever Pedro pitched, we saw. There it is. And whenever David Ortiz came up to the plate or Manny Ramirez came to the plate, when you came as the general manager of the Red Sox, there was a history here that not all free agents wanted to come here. It was a checkered past as far as diversity and inclusion. You and the organization set about changing that. It's a great tradition that continues to this day. Very diverse, very inclusive organization. How proud are you of that legacy that it began as you were here recruiting the best players around the world, wherever they came from, to help this team win?
Well, that was probably one of the best things that I could do for the organization and did for the organization, because we had to recruit players from all around the globe to stock the talent pipeline to beat the Yankees. Okay, so we went out and we signed the best pitchers we could sign. And we took a page out of Branch Rickey's book, right? Who said it doesn't matter what race, color, or creed you are. If you can help the team win as a fact, you should be out on the field. So we followed that. We recruited aggressively. And when we recruited players from around the globe, we also had to recruit people to teach them the language and to teach them how to win in Boston. And so by doing all this hiring and being aggressive with scouting, being aggressive in player development, we ended up bringing over 35 black players into the club in the 90s, which was more than the 3 generations before them. And we built up our team. We made our team better. We made our club more interesting. And then when we went to the Dominican and brought the great Dominican players on, then we knew we really had something, because we had a team with flair, and we had a team with talent, and we had a team that the fans could connect with. And these guys knew how to play, right? Manny got key hits. He was the MVP of the World Series. Big Pappy got key hits to get him to the World Series, and then get the hits in the World Series to win. I mean, these guys, they knew what it took to win, and they made the Red Sox a championship organization.
You put together many of the pieces that led to that championship. We heard some of them in the video. Wakefield and Uke and Lowe and Veritek, Pedro, Manny, so many players here that were part of that 04 team. You were in St. Louis as a fan. You can't take that away from you. You are a fan at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was a fan. We were there, and we celebrated. And 4 generations of my family were happy that the Red Sox finally broke the curse. We were all relieved from that quest. And I was proud to have a part in it and to be part of that legacy of helping the Red Sox win a championship.
And now you are in the Red Sox Hall of Fame. You will be forevermore. As a kid from Massachusetts, what does this honor mean to you?
Well, thank you. I think we got more people from Dalton, Amherst College, and my baseball friends here. The last time I saw this much support was when I bought all the tickets to damn Yankees in Pittsfield and filled the stands. But anyway, it's a great thrill for me to be honored by the Red Sox. I have to thank my mom and my family. Amy, all my kids are here. Denise, Daniel, Dana, Colt, Kylie, Brody, Katie. We got a full roster. And I have to thank John Harrington for giving me the opportunity, Harry Dalton for training me. Harry's a West Springfield native, and he gave me great training in how to aggressively recruit and train talent, which is what it took. And I have to thank them for the support that they gave me along the way.
Well, we thank you. Congratulations. Dan Duquette, Red Sox Hall of Famer.
All right. Thank you, Tommy.
All right, we shift back to a Fenway Honors recipient now. Time to celebrate another local company that has used its platform and partnership with the Red Sox and Red Sox Foundation to provide opportunities for those who need it most. One of those ways happens right here at Fenway Park. For years, CVS Health has sponsored hitting clinics with local groups so they can receive the same great coaching that big leaguers get every day here at Fenway.
I love baseball. Baseball's kind of my tradition.
Challenger League in Newport County, down in Newport, Rhode Island. My role as vice president is to basically organize the teams and get everyone involved and reach out to the community and get as many people involved as we can, because it's such a great activity for these kids to get outside and enjoy the game of baseball and softball.
Challenger, it's a baseball league, but we used to start out as baseball, but we are now a softball league.
The CVS Health Hidden Clinics are an opportunity for children of all ages and abilities to come together to experience what it's like to be a Major League Baseball player. How awesome is that? They come together on the field, they get to witness Fenway Park, walk and touch the green monster, hit a ball like their favorite Red Sox player. It's truly, really exciting.
Our kids had a wonderful time, really. The first time we took a lot of younger kids up, and they really enjoyed being on the field and the exposure and the attention they got from the Red Sox. We went to the batting cage underneath the stands before we went on the field to hit, warmed up, and the smiles and the joy on their faces were unbelievable.
My experience on being in the field was actually a really fun experience. I got to hit some balls around the field. I actually did some pretty good hits, I gotta say myself.
We believe that children of all abilities should have equal access to these opportunities. When the children take the field at Fenway Park, the level of enthusiasm and excitement is palpable. And just for that moment, when they walk onto the field, they feel like a Major League Baseball player. And their enthusiasm is so contagious. And in that moment, they don't have any other concerns in the world. And this is transferable to their parents, who are so proud to watch them in the stands. And even for them, it's a chance to see what could be for their children and what really is possible. And so we're really proud to have this partnership as a company that's committed to bringing our heart to every moment in life. This partnership is perfectly well aligned with our commitment to mental well-being and our focus on improving the lives of everybody we serve.
Usually it's a really fun experience with all my friends. They seem to enjoy it as much as I do.
Those experiences right there were something that we as an organization will never forget. We're very appreciative of all that the Red Sox have done for us, and the Red Sox Foundation and CVS. So thank you very much for all your help.
At this time, I'd like to welcome back to the stage Red Sox Foundation Executive Director Becca Solwasser to present our next award.
Thanks, TC. The work of the Red Sox Foundation would not be possible without so many over the past 2 decades. Tonight, we're extremely honored to recognize our longtime partners at CVS Health, who have been by our side every step of the way since 2002. Every project they lead is centered around the mission of providing health care with heart, That extends to the various programs and initiatives they support with the Red Sox and the Red Sox Foundation. CVS's work is always grounded in the belief that by working together, we can increase our ability to give back and make a true impact in the community. The CVS Hitting Clinics are a great example of that impact. What I particularly admire about our partnership is that as our community's needs evolve, CVS Health is always there to listen, brainstorm, and execute to ultimately drive forward programming and people that can affect change. They're the best teammates we could ask for, so it's my great honor and privilege to present the 2022 Fenway Honors Award to Vice President of Pharmacy at CVS Health, Jared Tankrell.
And our final Fenway Honors recipient of the night is a trailblazer in both the for and nonprofit industries. Her ascent to the top of Bank of America has inspired women everywhere and has led to Bank of America's support of so many programs to fund, train, and mentor tens of thousands of women.
When I think of Anne Finucane, I think of strength. I think of a woman who is incredibly strong and capable and who lives her values.
She is the role model for, obviously, for women leaders in the nonprofit and the for-profit space. Every woman I know looks up to her as a role model and an inspiration.
Well, I want to make sure that women are getting equal opportunity in every way possible. So that is anything from becoming a CEO of a nonprofit to a big corporation, to just having an equal opportunity in terms of business opportunity, equal pay, and a recognition that trying to do it all is pretty difficult if you don't have partnership.
Anne has had so much impact, not only here within Boston, within sports, within Massachusetts and the country, but even globally in terms of the program, the far ways that she thinks. Anne Finucane established the Bank of America Institute for Women's Entrepreneurship at Cornell to support access for 50,000 women entrepreneurs to participate in the country's only online Ivy League certification program. Anne has also created Bank of America's 10-year partnership with Vital Voices through the Bank of America Global Ambassadors Program, which has provided more than 8,000 hours of training and mentoring to women from 85 countries. She established the Tory Burch Foundation Capital Partnership, then doubled the bank's commitment to $100 million to increase the number of women-owned businesses in the U.S. by connecting them to affordable loans through CDFIs. Anne's team also developed online mentoring programs with the Sherry Blair Foundation, where more than 2,700 women entrepreneurs have connected to mentoring and skills building tools.
I think the only way a company or anybody can really be successful in life is to be a part of the communities in which they work and live. And to serve a community effectively, you really need to be a part of it.
The Women in Nonprofit Network, aptly called WIN, is a network for all women nonprofit leaders in Greater Boston. And it was created as a collaboration between the Women's Foundation of Boston and the Red Sox Foundation.
We are really inspired by the impact that the collaboration between the Women's Foundation of Boston and the Red Sox Foundation is going to have. And the fact that Anne Finucane and Bank of America have decided to support it is really going to give it just so much more growth and reach.
Programs like the WIN Network and many others, it's really important to have a sense of community, to share ideas, to share hardships, to share barriers, also to share where you saw success and how you could duplicate that for others. These are really important elements to networking, to empowerment, and also to move forward. I think for all women, we have to demand our place at the table, and we have to make room for the next woman too. And in doing so, the dialogues are better, the decisions are better. If you are a reflection of the community in which you work and live, that means you have to be diverse around the board table, around management, in the nonprofit world. And as you've seen, you just succeed better if you look like the communities in which you work and live. I find that these kinds of nonprofit philanthropic activities really feed the soul, and it also connects you to your community.
To present our final Fenway Honor of the night, please welcome back to the stage President and CEO Sam Kennedy.
Thank you, TC. I have a script here about Ann Finucane, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to rip it up, and I'm just going to go right from the heart, because I love Ann Finucane. Ann Finucane is a mentor of mine. She's a mentor of Larry Lucchino's. She's a mentor of Troop Parkinson's. She's a mentor to the entire Boston Red Sox organization. She's a mentor to the great Mike Barnacle. Yes, Mike. She's a mentor to all of us. And when I met her 20 years ago, she gave me the best advice I'd ever gotten in my life. I said, Ann, we're back home in Boston. What should we do each and every day with the Boston Red Sox? And she said, Sam, it's easy. There's two types of people on this earth. There are people that give you energy. They lift you up. They pick you up. They make you better each and every day. And there are people that suck the life out of you and take energy away. And it's easy. All you have to do is spend your life with people that give you great energy and pick you up and lift you up. People like David Ortiz, people like Pedro Martinez, people like Manny Ramirez. And that's how you win World Series championships, with people that give you life and energy. And no one has given this city more life, more energy than the great Ann Finucane. Ann, congratulations.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Sam. Sam asked me once what you should do every day. I said, beat the damn Yankees. It was a slightly different answer. Now we're ready to induct more Hall of Famers. You guys ready? I think we need a seventh inning stretch first. Everybody get up. Let's go. Seventh inning stretch. It's a baseball game here. We're at a ballpark. Everybody stretch it out a little bit. Let's go. Let's get the blood going. Our next inductee is another local ball player who was able to live out his dream playing for the Red Sox. He was behind the plate for one of the greatest pitching performances in Major League Baseball history, while also playing a key role in an American League championship team.
Richard Leo Gedman, Boston, 1980 to 1990. An undrafted free agent signed in 1977 out of St. Peter Marian High School in nearby Worcester, Massachusetts. Native son Rich Gedman was converted from an outfielder first baseman to catcher on the advice of Red Sox scout Bill Enos. Gedman made his Major League debut in 1980, finished second in AL Rookie of the Year balloting in 1981, and was named to the All-Star team in consecutive seasons, 1985 and 1986. A left-handed batter who hit 24 home runs in 1984, his first season as the team's everyday catcher, Gedman the following season set career highs in batting average, 295, doubles, 30, and RBIs, 80, while throwing out 43% of base stealers attempting to steal. Hailed for his ability to handle a pitching staff that included Roger Clemens, Bruce Hurst, and Dennis Boyd, Gedman was behind the plate for the first of Clemens' record-setting 20 strikeout games on April 29, 1986.
Please welcome Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rich Gedman. Congratulations, Rich.
Thanks, Tom.
I know there's nothing you love more than talking about yourself, so we'll dig in here.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, you grew up here. What was it like to be in this batter's box on that side wearing the Boston Red Sox uniform for the team you grew up cheering for in Worcester?
It's really hard to explain to people what it's like when there's 34,000 people in the stands rooting for you, and you don't want to disappoint them. So it kind of gives you a little extra motivation. It's like you sometimes don't feel like you're doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for someone else. I think sometimes it's easier. We have a great fan base here, and it's certainly, like I said, it's pretty special to walk up here and get in this box. It kind of feels funny right now, though. 30 years ago, it felt a little different.
No one pitching, no one digging in, looking at you.
Kidding.
Hey, when you come up, again, you're a local kid, and there are guys on that team. You make your major league debut, right? I mean, you got Yaz and Fisk and Evans and Rice. What was that like, being the young guy with some of those guys?
Well, you have to pinch yourself, right? The first time you walk into the clubhouse and you see so many great players in there, and you kind of look in the mirror and go, what am I doing here? But they were really good being a young guy. In the 80s, it takes a little while to establish yourself. And when you're around a team of veteran players, you're trying to keep your nose clean. You learn as much as you can from them. You work hard, and you try to earn your right to keep putting the uniform on and get a chance to play every day.
You caught one of the greatest ever, Roger Clemens. We'll get to the 20 strikeouts in a moment, but just in general, what was it like every fifth day catching a Roger Clemens game, preparing for a Roger Clemens game? What was the Rocket like?
There's been a lot of great players, great pitchers in Boston since Roger, before Roger. Jim Lauenberg when I was growing up. I'm sure I'm going to miss some people, but Louis Tion and Sodell, Dennis Eckersley. Roger Clemens becomes that guy who makes you not think about the hitters only. Every fifth day, the Boston Red Sox are going to have a chance to win, and he might do something special. So, I mean, in his rookie year, he was 24-4, and we end up going to the playoffs in the World Series. I don't think there's anything better than when you come to the park knowing that you have a really good chance to win a ball game.
You said he had a chance to do something special every night. 1986 did something special. 20 strikeouts. By the way, if you don't know the story, almost didn't get to the ballpark in time. Stuck in traffic on Storo. They're ready to name somebody else as the starter. And he says he had one of the worst bullpens he ever had to get ready for that game.
I don't know how it all happened or why it becomes so...
Hold on, we got a relief pitcher here. Everybody welcome. We got a new microphone.
Thanks. Low on battery?
There you go, we're good. But you're the catcher, it's a battery, it makes sense. He strikes out 20 batters that night.
I didn't even... Is it me doing this?
Suggest. Hold that lower.
Okay.
Leave that alone.
Don't, okay. Anyways, Roger Clemens I didn't know that he was late. I probably knew something was up, but I probably wasn't paying much attention to it just in the preparation of the game. And then when you go to warm him up, you're going, well, I wasn't really thinking that he wasn't pitching well. We hadn't faced a batter, so I never really worry about how they warm up in the bullpen anyways. But when the game started, it was electric. I don't think for 9 innings that you saw so many either swing and misses or just called strikes on balls that weren't even touched. It was an incredible evening. Certainly, I didn't know at the time that he was breaking a record of any sort. The K-men actually put the Ks across right field. I think after you get to about 10 or 12, they kind of all run together. So you really don't notice it that much. And the other part is we're trying to win a ball game, and in the 7th inning, we're down 1-0. So not really paying any attention to any individual things going on. And Dewey hits a 3-run homer in the 7th, and Roger mows him down the last 3 innings, and the rest, I guess, is history.
And except he did it again later,
Yeah,
because he's Roger Clemens.
Yeah,
right?
That's just what he does.
86 in the end, we know what happened, you came so close. But looking back on that team, I think most of us remember what an incredible ride that summer was. Winning the pennant, getting so close. Let's remember, you had the single before Henderson's home run. You were on first base. But that team was special. When you come so close to winning it all and you don't, how do you look back at that season, that team, that experience?
When you look back, it wasn't the winning or losing then, although at the time it was very, very painful to take. The players that we had on our team were what made it so much fun. The playing together, the playing for each other, the finding ways to win, to stay encouraged throughout the year, to try to make a difference, and basically win for each other. Oil Can was special. Bruce Harris was special. I mean, we had guys who got hurt but still found a way to get it done. It's hard to look back, on 30 years. And then when you look back at it, you think of the guys that you play with and how special they were to you, for you, with you, what they did for you. And sometimes winning and losing sometimes didn't matter, except for the fact that whatever happened, you did it together. It was a great team. It was a great bunch of guys, and certainly a missed opportunity and something you have to live with for the rest of your life. But I wouldn't have wanted to do it any other way except for the outcome maybe being different in Game 7.
Now your name will forever be in the Red Sox Hall of Fame. For a kid from Worcester, what does that mean?
It's for someone who grew up in Worcester, Massachusetts, he's been a Red Sox fan his whole life. I got a chance to play for the Red Sox. I got a chance to coach in the Red Sox organization. I've been through fantasy camps with the Red Sox. I'm a baseball guy vocation-wise, but you can't do that type of stuff without your friends and your family. And I had the greatest support at home. I had wonderful parents. My wife and my children, they're the people that you do it for. And they're here with me tonight. It's really my wife, Sherry, and my sons, Michael and Matt, and my daughter, Marissa. And so, you can't do it by yourself. There's coaches and just teammates that help you become who you are and allow you to become. So, I kind of myself, I'm humbled by this honor. I can't believe that it's me. I can't believe that I'm actually going into a Hall of Fame on the same evening as David Ortiz, who might be the greatest Red Sox player of all time. It's pretty amazing. I watch all the things that have happened here this evening, and I just can't believe I'm a part of it and been a part of it for a long time. So I can't be more appreciative of it. So
it's well deserved. Rich Gedman, Red Sox Hall of Famer.
Thanks.
Well done. I hope they took it back. Go get it out. We have 2 more Hall of Famers to go, but first, we want to take a moment. We recognize a memorable moment every year in this Hall of Fame induction, and this may be very well possibly the moment Red Sox fans love the most.
Red Sox Memorable Moment. On October 27, 2004, the Red Sox completed a 4-game sweep of the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series, ending an 86-year gap between championships that had been mythologized as the Curse of the Bambino, a reference to the sale of Babe Ruth to the Yankees a year after Boston's last World Series title, 1918. The Red Sox swept the Anaheim Angels in the American League Division Series. Then staged an unprecedented comeback, overcoming a 3-0 deficit against the New York Yankees to win the ALCS in 7 games. The self-styled group of idiots, managed by Terry Francona, then dispatched the Cardinals, a team that won 105 games in the regular season, in the World Series, winning the series finale 3-0 in Busch Stadium. Closer Keith Foulke flipped the comebacker to first baseman Doug Minkiewicz for the final out.
That's a pretty good moment. Here to accept the Memorable Moment plaque on behalf of his teammates, 2004 World Champion, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Baseball Hall of Famer, Pedro Martinez. Don't hold the bottom.
Yeah! Yeah! Hola! Oh yeah. Let's be Manny now.
I feel we should do this on the mound with you. We should have moved these chairs out there. You shouldn't be here.
Well, we had a game going on when they were doing that. Normally, someone in 2 strikes, the K crew all the way up over there, and chanting Pedro, Pedro. That was when 2 strikes were on. So we're ready to go.
Pedro, that 2004 championship in many ways begins at Yankee Stadium in October of 2003. You lose Game 7. Everyone goes off, 86 years. We're all saying, here we go again. You're not saying that. You show up that next spring, and I remember the determination that group had. Where some teams may have shied away and said we had our chance, you to a man, and you were one of the leaders of that group, said no, no, no. We take it one step further. What was that year like? The ups, the downs, the everything, to get back to the world. I mean, just to get back to the American League Championship Series, let alone the World Series.
You know what? We had a short memory for defeats, for struggles. And that's what made us idiots. We were the idiots. Remember, we could have easily just throw everything out the window and go, yeah, 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 yeah. And that's exactly what we did to the 03 Game 7. I was one of those guys that have been through a lot here in Boston. Believe me, nobody was more hurt than I was when we lost that game in New York. And I was the one in charge of the lead in that game. And I feel responsible. I mean, a lot of people will blame, Grady Little for leaving me in or whatever. But I still feel like I was the one responsible for the moment. I still feel like I could have done it. Even though I didn't get it done, you ask me again if I want the moment, I do want it. Yeah, I want it. And I think the struggles, TC, I think the struggles that we went through, the long wait, the heartbrokens and all that, made us even tougher. it built a greed on us that it was like impossible to break. And I thought about talking to my teammates and saying, what could be worse than the last year? All we have to do now is just go right back out there, stay healthy, and hopefully give them a battle again. And we were tested to the end, to one last pitch, and we were able to come back. And here we have it. Yeah!
The light reflects off that ring pretty well. Every time I watch Dave Roberts steal that base, it gets closer. I'm afraid one year I'm going to watch it, he's going to be out. But it doesn't get any closer. You're down 3-0. It's the 9th inning. You're losing. Teams don't come back from that, Pedro, but you did.
Well, you just don't wake up a sleeping lion, especially in a bad mood and hungry. And we were hungry. I'm going to take the bad mood away because we were never in a bad mood. But certainly we were hungry, and we were a lion behind the curtains. And nobody knew. Nobody knew how much and how bad we wanted it. David being probably the biggest part of everything we did. If it wasn't for David,
he was pretty good in the clutch, wasn't he?
Oh, believe me, without David, we don't go anywhere. Hey, Big Papi, give me a holler. Right there. Yeah, Big Papi. Woohoo! Boy, am I glad I was there in that restaurant when David was released by the Minnesota Twins. I'm so happy.
Did you ever get an agent fee? The Red Sox owe you an agent fee for getting them to sign David Ortiz.
Yeah, I don't know why the Red Sox haven't paid me my bonuses as a scout. I scouted David. Nobody has paid me anything, but I got a big ring.
It worked out.
Uh-oh, we got Sam Kennedy coming over. Oh my gosh, look at this. David. Man, $40. Now I know why the scouting department is always complaining, Dan Duquette. $40 for a guy like David? What were you doing, man? Dan Duquette. Man. No, I'm going to have a strike tomorrow from the scouting department over here. You guys get ready. Sam, you better raise our salaries. I'm keeping my $40 too.
That parade, 2004, that Saturday morning, it was raining a little bit, it was cloudy a little bit. How many millions? Every time, millions of New Englanders come into Boston that morning, and you're right in the middle of it. What was it like?
You know what? It is. I think it still is. It's like a dream that you don't wake up ever. I don't know if death is like that, but listen. I'm still walking like on top of a cloud. Believe me, when I came over, I know the feeling I had inside of me. Because I remember Johnny Miller. Pedro, can you talk about the curse of the Bambino? I said, I don't believe in bleep cursings. But I do remember this huge relief from me, from my shoulders, from my teammates, for the letdowns that we had in previous years, for the 86 years that so many stars like Jastrzębski, Jim Rice, Ted Williams, so many great players that went through the organization, Roger Clemens, Dwight Evans, so many, Getty. I mean, all those players, all those great players that went through the organizations and weren't able to bring it over to Boston. And I was just one of 25 idiots that was out there and was there to bring it over to Boston. Listen up, I'm gonna be bold on this statement that I'm gonna make right now. To me, making it to the big leagues, being a Hall of Famer, and doing everything I've done in life, I don't think for feels the moment that I was able to get off the bus and right in front of the clubhouse in the players' parking lot, hand out the trophy to the city of Boston. It is the biggest achievement that I have as a professional, as a baseball player, and probably in life. Because what else have I done? This is all I've done, play baseball. So it is probably my biggest achievement in life, to be able to bring it back to Boston.
As a fan, for the fans, thank you, Pedro.
Thank you, Boston. I love you. Yeah! I would have never get it done if it wasn't for Big Papi. Yeah, yeah, yeah! And now, where's the play for Manny?
I'm going to take a minute and go get that over there. The MVP of that World Series was a man who followed a long line of legendary left fielders, one of the most prolific right-handed hitters in team history, with a set of antics that made him one of a kind.
Manuel Aristides Ramirez, Boston 2001 to 2008. One of the greatest right-handed hitters in club history, the often inscrutable Ramirez made Manny being Manny a popular catchphrase in his 8 seasons with the Red Sox. Born in the Dominican Republic, Ramirez moved to New York City at age 13 and made his big league debut with Cleveland in 1993. Signed by the Red Sox as a free agent prior to the 2001 season, Ramirez led the team in home runs, batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage in his first year with the club, presaging an extraordinary stretch of offensive dominance by the team's left fielder. Ramirez won the American League batting title in 2002 with a .349 average, and in each of his first 4 seasons in Boston had an OPS of 1,000 or higher. The 2004 World Series MVP after batting .412 in the team's 4-game sweep of St. Louis, Ramirez, an 8-time All-Star, finished with 274 home runs and a .999 OPS in a Red Sox uniform.
Manny couldn't be here tonight. I don't know what we should do with the plaque. It's over here, Pedro.
Well, I'm going to take it on behalf of Manny. Manny couldn't be here today, but he sent his little brother Greñas right here. See the Greñas? Greñas mean kinky hair. So he sent his little brother to get this plaque on behalf of Manny. We really appreciate you, ugly boy. We appreciate Manny. Manny wants to say to Boston that he loves and respects Boston, that God loves you all. That is his biggest message nowadays, that God loves you, that God protects you, and that he wants you to read the scripture. On behalf of Manny, I'm extremely proud of you, you ugly boy, for all he's been able to achieve. I'm going to do one of those Manny things that Manny does. You just never know with Manny. So thank you, Boston, for this. Thank you to the organization for this, to all the other inductees on this night. And since you never knew with Manny, well, I'm going to do one of those Manny things.
Manny back in left field where he belongs. Thank you, Pedro. Manny, of course, such a big part of that curse-breaking season, along with our final honoree of the night. David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez, some of the greatest to ever wear the uniform, to ever call Boston home. Big Papi was one of a kind. Big Papi, the greatest clutch hitter in the history of the Red Sox. Without him, there is no curse-breaking 2004 World Series. But as you know, one title wasn't big enough for Big Papi.
David Americo Ortiz, Boston 2003 through 2016. Pronounced the greatest clutch hitter in Red Sox history, Big Papi lived up to that accolade repeatedly in his 14 seasons in Boston, where he was a 10-time All-Star and became one of the most beloved athletes in the city's history. A native of the Dominican Republic, Ortiz led the Red Sox to 3 World Series titles in 2004, 2007, and 2013, hitting an astounding .688, 11 for 16, with 8 walks, in Boston's 6-game triumph over St. Louis in 13. Ortiz's walk-off hits against the New York Yankees in Games 4 and 5 of the ALCS on October 18, 2004, served as a catalyst to the greatest postseason comeback in history, the Sox becoming the first team to rally from a 3-0 deficit. Ortiz broke Jimmy Foxx's franchise record with 54 home runs in 2006 and had 10 seasons of 30-plus home runs and 100-plus RBIs, a club record. In his final season, he shattered records for players 40 years or older in a host of categories, including home runs, 38, doubles, 48, and RBIs, 127.
From the Dominican Republic to Fenway Park to Cooperstown, please welcome Red Sox Hall of Famer, Big Papi, David Ortiz. Brought some friends.
I love them.
Let's just get this out of the way first. Aren't you glad you ended up with the Red Sox?
Well, before I answer your question, I know we are celebrating a lot of wonderful things, but I also want to take this moment to let people up in Texas know that my heart and my condolences are with them. You know, we got to stick together always, no matter what, you know, and when it comes down to kids and family members, I'm very sensitive about it, and, you know, things that are going on out there is not right. So my deepest condolences to all of you out there. We're thinking of you here in Boston, and God bless you all. Going back to the conversation, I don't know, man, you know, it's a good thing to be hungry once in a while so you can bump into people like my compadre Pedro Martinez and he lets you know what's up.
You and I were talking before. As a guy who grew up in New England, I never would have thought that fans in the Dominican Republic were anything like us here. But you told me at one point while you were playing that you felt home here almost right away because the passion, because of this, because of what you all do at every Fenway Park game. Felt like home.
You know, I'm a guy that I basically develop all my ability playing winning ball, and it's very intense. Winning ball is very intense. You guys should go down to winning ball once in a while and experience what I'm trying to tell you. Plus, you can go to the beach and have a drink, and you know, there's a lot of things going on in the Dominican, but winning ball down there is very, it's a time where when you are growing up as a player, they throw you out there and you experience that type of pressure. And being able to grow up in that environment, it was something that helped me up a lot. And once I got here into New England, I just clicked with right away. You know, it was something that I was like, oh, okay. It's like back home, like playing in my backyard. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
Pedro was here. We talked about 2004. Those clutch hits, those moments, those walk-off hits. How do you keep your heartbeat from getting out of control? I mean, the season is on the line. You need to deliver. You're the greatest clutch hitter in Red Sox history. How do you keep in the moment? What's the secret?
You know, I grew up in a wonderful family. My mom and dad. My dad is right here with me. So, Pop, you know, I grew up in a family that I had a really good childhood, and I wasn't even a middle class type of person, you know, but my mom and dad, they did a great job teaching me about a lot of things that have value, you know, and you know, we grew up tough. It was tough, you know, at some point, but they always used to find a way to manage things and make sure that we were okay. My sister, Albania, she's right here too with me. You know, my brother, Pedro Eloy, is with me here too. My daughter, Alex, my girl, Maria. I mean, everybody's here with me, spending time and making sure that we are having a great time here. And you know, the support from the family is important. The support from the family, guiding you and teaching you how to do the right thing, is important. And when it comes down to the pressure, once you grow up into it, everything seems normal to you when everybody's going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
And when you were able to deliver those moments, coming back from 3-0 against the Yankees, team that been beating us up for years around here, what was that like? The moment Pedro talked about. I remember the parade, but Pedro brought up that moment when you got off the bus coming back from St. Louis, and you guys had that trophy. And I think everybody here in Boston stayed up all night waiting for you guys to get home with that trophy. What was that celebration like?
I tell you what, man, we whoop ass. You know, like, put it this way. I came from another organization that, unfortunately, they don't have the fans that we have here. The very first day that I stepped at the plate, the very first day that I was walking to the plate, and I saw the crowd here, I was like, oh, okay. All right, this is how it's gonna be? All right, I can put up with this. You know what I'm saying? Like the fans, I can feel the heat every at bat I take right here. I can feel these people right here. I can feel their emotion. I can feel their intensity. I can feel how much they want it. It took me about a year. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took me about a year from 2003 to 2004, like the off season of 2003, after we lost against the Yankees, because Adam, boom, he hit that homer. The off season was like, I was watching all the highlights, and you're not gonna believe this, I was watching more the fans than what we did during the season. Yeah. And man, I'm telling you, I got so emotional, and once I started training, I was like a machine, like it will non-stop. Like I wanna have the best season that I can ever have in 2004 because of you guys. You guys deserve it though.
You win again in 07. You win again in 13. But you, of all people, understood because of some of those years in between. It doesn't come every year. It's not easy. I know 13, you bring everybody in the dugout and say, you guys don't know. You may not get back here. How special were those moments? How much did you appreciate getting that second ring, that third ring, those other chances?
We played so many games throughout the regular season, and it is hard to be in a playoff. I mean, they had put more team into the playoff nowadays, and it's still hard to get into the playoff. So once you are in it, you want to take advantage of. And we have, in 2013, we had so many young, talented players, which are the guys running the club right now. But I want to make sure that they know the importance of being in the playoff. It's not like you are here every other day. You know, you got to take advantage of what you got going on here now because you don't know when you're going to be in it again. And watching the guy, what they did in 2018, it reminded me a lot of the 2013 when I saw my man, Crisel, going off on the dugout and telling them how to get it done. That was something that when I saw, I was like, we are champion again this year, you know what I'm saying?
2013 started with pain. The bombing, Boston strong. I always say the team put that city, this city, on its back in those days ahead. And you said it when you came here and said, this is our city. You said another word, there's kids here, I won't say it. Tell me about that bond between that team and this city after what it was going through.
You know, I believe on God big time, and God is my guidance. Like, I commit myself to God every day because I don't think we mean anything without Him. And that day, I was just another citizen who had to deliver a message from God, you know, and those are the words that He put on me at the time because this is a wonderful city, have a lot of incredible people. Like, you have no idea how many incredible people I have made up in the city. When I first came to the city, people always want to, you know, call you attention, talking to you about a lot of negative stuff. I didn't experience any of it. I got to meet so many wonderful people, so many beautiful people, so many visionary, so many people that have hope, so many people that want things to be good, want things to do well. And when I had those 2 minutes out there in that mount at the time, I want to let it all out, you know, and I think it was good because the feedback and the way we turned the city around after some that bad, because nobody ever is expecting something like that to happen. You know, I remember so many people, you know, being injured. I remember that one child that lost his life. You know, I'm crazy about kids. I mean, I believe on children's. I got my own foundation that I like to help kids because I think kids deserve a wonderful life. And all of a sudden, I saw a child losing his life when he was cheering for his mom. It was something that it hurt me big time, you know. So being able to deliver the message that regroup, that put everybody in a good mood, it was something that it was bigger than hitting a Grand Slam in the World Series.
Winning that World Series here. First one at Fenway in 95 years. I'll never forget Game 6. This place was shaking. What was that moment like? What was that championship like? Bringing the trophy back to the finish line of the marathon, what was that like for you?
Oh, man, that was amazing. Like my compadre Pedro say, you know, we have lived so many great moments in our careers and life. And by the way, I was laughing when Pedro say that, you know, delivering the trophy in 2004 was one of his greatest moments in his career. Man, you have a lot of good moments in your career. But, you know, like, of course, winning a World Series in 2004 was something that it was extremely special. But in 2013, you know, when everything went down here, God lined everything up for us to be able to win a World Series. That was something that it kind of changed everything, mentality-wise, everything going on. I mean, this city, you guys need to give you guys a round of applause. You know why? I had never seen a city bounce back as fast as we did right here. After all, you know, I mean, that takes a minute, man, and you guys put it together. You guys work as a group, team effort, and that's why we recovered so fast, and everybody, you know, did what they were supposed to do. And like I say, I'm always proud to say that I'm part of New England.
In 2016, you announced your retirement, put together one of the great years of your career, of any career, led the majors in OPS, and I know what you were going through in the trainer's room every day just to get in that box. And you're doing 2-hour interviews, and you've got a camera crew following your every step. How were you able to play at that high a level with all those emotions going on?
Simple as, you know, I'm a God man. You know, I commit myself to God, and He made things happen. That's simple. You know, like, I was in a lot of pain. That's why I retired after that season. But I was able to put away everything. Sometimes, you know, now that I'm not playing, I watch it all, and I don't even know how I was able to put away everything. You know what I'm saying? But I always thank God for everything that He does for me and my family. And, you know, it's wonderful to believe on His words and being able to follow up, you know. I mean, sometimes the road seems like it's going to be heavy, but once you commit yourself to Him, everything looked pretty easy, and that's what I did.
You came back out after that last game, after the playoffs. You were eliminated. Came back out and stood on the mound. In 2016, you played your final game here at Fenway, and the fans stayed here. And you got emotional. What was that like, that goodbye, and the fact that fans, they might have been more emotional than you because they were watching you at the end?
That was great, man. I mean, it was a wonderful feeling. I was all over the place at the time because I had so many people pulling me left and right, you know what I'm saying? So at the time, I was like, okay, what's next? You know what I'm saying? But I was so excited at the time, and just looking around and watching the fans, I couldn't hold back because I know it was my last ride. You know what I'm saying? And these fans have given me so much. And when I give them so much, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Last question. You're going to Cooperstown this summer. You will be in that small circle of the greatest players to ever wear the uniform for any team. And when you go in July, they're all coming with you. This whole city's going with you. What is that going to be like?
Well, to be honest with you, I want Cooperstown to feel the heat. I want Cooperstown to know what we are all about here in New England and in my native, the Dominican Republic. You know what I'm saying? I come from a town where we have so many good people and so many happy people that, you know, all we like to spread all the way around is happiness. You know what I'm saying? So let's make that day special. I'm going to wait for all of you out there at Cooperstown. You know, it might take a minute to have another Red Sox coming into Cooperstown, so let's celebrate this one.
Hey, Jim Cook, we might need some extra Sam Adams in Cooperstown at the end of July because Boston's coming to town.
Let's do it. Sam, are we coming in? You already know, baby.
Last thing, this moment tonight, back in your batter's box with these fans. What does this mean to you?
Hey, listen, I'm feeling so special. Love you too, dawg. I mean, this is like yeah. You know what? You guys gonna force me to take another at bat. I used to love hearing that, man. That motivated me so much. And I want to take this moment to thank everyone here in New England for making my career better. Without you guys, I don't think I would be what I used to be. You guys pulled the best out of me, and thank you very much.
One more walk-off for David Ortiz. Big Papi, Red Sox Hall of Fame. Did you guys have fun? Let's bring this energy tomorrow night when the Red Sox are back home to open up the homestand against the Baltimore Orioles. Thanks everyone for coming. Special thanks to Dave Meller and his grounds crew for letting us trample up things. They got a homestand to get ready for tomorrow night. Special thanks to Dan Duquette, Rich Gedman, Pedro Martinez, Manny Ramirez, and David Ortiz.